What's up, everybody? Jinx here representing WWE 2K Dev once again. And in today's video, we busting out the tables. Hope you guys like it. Check it out.
Alrighty, guys. So WWE 2K17, the dev team is uploading regularly now. I'm pretty sure we can expect it until release. So we're gonna go through tables. Now, I did get to use the table at SummerSlam, and I used Shinsuke Nakamura's signature. I put Del Rio through the table. It did kind of bust wide open. I thought it looked pretty cool, I'll be honest with you, but that was backstage. Now we know a little bit more about the improvements about table matches, because there's actual improvements, not just tables. So let's go ahead and bust it wide open. So the first thing we'll notice here, as you can see, they do mention there's 5 new places, or not necessarily new places, but 5 places you can use tables, or vary it and splice it up a little bit. You have against the ropes here. You have against the aprons now. You have right here where you can put them through on the apron on the outside. Boom. And then for the first time, and we'll go back and watch this, from the inside of the ring, you can finally throw your opponent through a table. Whew. I can't tell you how excited I am for that. Now, we're going to cover this in a little second. I just want to play it through right now. You can see in the bottom corner by Enzo, there is a table meter. Now, this is a new thing that they've added in and basically gone through and tried to improve it a little bit, because one of the things was the most annoying thing is you didn't know what you had to do to break a table. Well, now you do. Now you kind of have at least an understanding if a table will break or not, which would help make matches, I don't want to necessarily better, but it would definitely help make it so you know when you could actually end a match and what to expect. So as you saw, boom, he put him through the table. So now let's rewind all the way to the beginning, and let's highlight some of this stuff. Boom. Through the corner. That's pretty sweet, right? They've added in some new moves, which they definitely do need to have. The same 3, like power bombs, they were just kind of boring. Now we need to go up top. Now, I did see some people say something about this, and I will say, depending on where the table's placed, I don't know if this is necessarily just a finisher, or this is just this is just a corner suplex. This isn't an OMG moment or anything like that. You look, I will say it looks like they were trying to aim to the table, because as a superplex, the difference between coming all the way out here for a superplex versus, landing this close, that is a really close distance to a superplex, and I'm not going to, critique that. I don't know if that's to try to go through the table. If it was adaptive like that, where if I set up a table and going through the suplex, it knew to do that. Like, hey, you're right here, and instead of going all the way, and I did that again, that's what happens, man. Instead of going all the way down here, if the table was set up here and it did go kind of a shallower suplex for the purposes of going through a table, because right here, look how much he's arcing right there. That's a lot to be, that's like wrenching your back that much instead of going straight up. So if that's done so I don't get put through a table, putting myself through a table on a far suplex, that's great. If this just happens to be the example they used, maybe we're overreacting a little bit. But I did see some people on the official WWE post, which you can go subscribe to their YouTube, WWE 2K Dev on YouTube. Go check them out. And a couple people brought that up. Now, here. Being able to put your opponent through like this. Now, I can't wait for the WrestleMania where Big Show is right here, and then Cody Rhodes comes running at him, and then Big Show's foot steps right down here, and that's how it ends, right? Is that something you can think about? But boom, you get put through the table. This is the kind of stuff I talked about. If WWE is already doing a realistic game, you've got to add in little things like this that make it even more realistic, just like in WWE, and they improve on it, which this is something they did. Now, this is one of my favorite features, because a tables match, depending on what, and like I said, I don't know what necessarily against the ropes this is for, as that you can see these are all special moves for a table. You've got the against the table, you've got against corner table, you've got the corner, the ropes, the aprons, and then, of course, the finisher. So there's 5 different versions you can do besides your finishers to put somebody through a table. Now, here, this would be one of my favorites, because if you're in a match, and let's say if you could have an elimination tables match and you're throwing the guys out and one guy gets thrown to the outside of a table and then you get put, oh man, there's a lot of interesting possibilities down the line. But this is definitely one of my favorite additions, because boom, right through a table. Now here, let's cover this table meter, because this is what they just announced. Again, we didn't get to play this at SummerSlam because there wasn't table matches, but you now see, so you know when exactly you can use a table, and when it would break, when it would bust open. So you want to kind of do some damage, because one of the biggest things in the past was you would have these table matches and you would go through them, but you were like, oh, what is it going to take to bust this table? Do I have to get my opponent weak or signatures or what? Now you at least have a gauge, and that's the biggest thing. Like, now you know what it would take to be able to put your opponent through a table, so you can try to like do moves. The table doesn't break. You could do some botchamania spots, whatever you want to do, as you can see those guys going back and forth. But the more close you get to it, the more the bar. See, right there, you would have noticed it did a thing right there and kind of showed something. But you can see right there is where the table bar is filling up. So you want to do moves like this to your opponent. You want to basically go in and utilize the table or near the table, because it has to be near the table, on the table, touching the table to build up that bar. And by building up that bar, you can eventually use the table, which can create some drama. If you're watching that bar, if you're a viewer watching or fan watching, you'd be like, oh man, he's going to be able to do it. And then boom. Now, one thing that they did say is table finishers, or if you have a finisher, that overrides the bar. So if the bar isn't all the way full, say you still got a little bit left to go, but you have a finisher, that overrides that bar. Now, that's one of the things I did worry about a little bit. Like, there should be a little bit of checks and balances, but, it is a finisher. So when you can get a finisher, putting your opponent through the table, you can see. Unfortunately, there's nobody on the other edge to catch him for this 3D. But boom, Enzo Amore goes through the table, and Enzo is laid out, and you can see the table busted into some pieces. Now, some people might nitpick that stuff. Table physics, man, in the WWE games have always been a little weird. Or, if they do one way, people want it the other way, and if they do it where they don't really bust apart, fans wanted it the other way. So, it's kind of a hard thing to do. But overall, I'm fine with that, man. I thought that looked good. I think the fact that they added in additional places to go through is one of the things that you kind of have to do. When you have a simulation game and you've invested in some... wait a minute. Did anybody catch that? So post-match, the table is rumbling down there. Did you see that? The table is like rumbling. I don't know if we can get a little bit of a playback right there. After the match is over, you see the table. Yeah, there it is. It's still rumbling a little bit, which was in the past games when you had some weapons. Yeah, see, look at that. Enzo. Oh, and you can break out post. So this is exactly what I was trying to touch on. I almost missed it, and I almost didn't even talk about it in this video. You see, boom, he's got a breakout option. So this is where I was really excited when you had post matches. If you had a table set up out here, and let's say, he beat Enzo, and he wanted to put him through another table, he sets him up on these ropes over here. It's like, get out of my ring, and over the top goes Enzo. Oh, Enzo. And then he lands over there. That's pretty sweet. So watch out for that breakout option, especially in tables matches, if you're able to do that. Now, post-match, I wonder if the table stuff carries over, if all 5 of the things, because you can do some pretty sick stuff. But that's pretty much it, guys, for table breakdowns. I wanted to cover it in depth. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if there's something that you want me to talk about when it comes to these videos, let me know in the comment section below. If there's something I missed, make sure to tell me, and I'll try to cover it in a follow-up video. I can't appreciate the support enough, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smack a like on it. If your friends was like, yo, what are the table physics? Share them the video. Until next time, it's your boy Tubby. Hey, I have an It's Just Wrestling shirt available. The link is in the description. Go check it out. If your friends are always telling you, wrestling's fake, you don the It's Not Fake, It's Just Wrestling t-shirt. Until next time, it's your boy Tubby, and we will see you all later with some more WWE 2K news when it drops.